Tape job we're going to do for somebody who has a bunion or hallux valgus. So their foot will be, they'll have that valgus stress, that look on their first metatarsal phalangeal joint. And basically what we're trying to do with the bunion tape job is we're trying to then bring that first ray or first digit back into a more neutral position. Our athlete here doesn't have one, so we're trying to actually mimic this. But we use the principles we've already used, like in class, about making fans. And this one's actually a pretty simple tape job where, all things considered, spray with your tough skin. We'd spray the lateral, actually not even so much lateral side, just spray the plantar surface of the foot and then the toe, plantar and dorsal surfaces. And then what we want to do is we just want to put an anchor here and then an anchor or two in the middle of the arch. And then we're going to create a fan. And we've been taught, like to do those, the fan by doing a crisscross, an X, and then one down the middle. And then we just close it up. And so it's a really, like I said, very basic, generic. It's kind of like the principle when we've learned in class of the hyperextension, restriction of hyperextension on the wrist by using the fan. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do our borders first, our anchors. I'll start then into the arch. And again, one or two, it doesn't really make a difference how many you have here. I'll just do one. How's that? Okay. All right. And then we're going to do one on the toe. You can always cut this one down, meaning that I just use 1.5" tape, but you can actually, trim it down, meaning that you could go ahead and split the tape in half if you want a, smaller anchor. I like the bigger anchors. So now when I'm going to measure my fan's got to at least, the tape's got to be enough to reach the ends of the tape, okay? So I know that when I'm going to make my fan, it's got to be at least that long, okay? So if you look at where my hands are there and then down here, what I'll do is I'll do this one in a colored tape here, okay? Let's do this in the pink one. So actually, no, I'll do it in another color because that's not split. Again, it's going to be about that long. So let's do this, orange, here we go. So, and I usually like to make my fan like on the table or even do it on my legs sometimes. So here, so I know I need this much, I'm gonna, and I always say with these, doesn't have to be this perfect thing, but so we've got one there, and so crisscross, got one there, and then one down the middle. Cool. All right, so we've got our fan. Then we bring our fan back over here. Oh, and we're going to go ahead and do the bunion, so it's going to be on the lateral side. I actually was almost thinking about doing a hyperextension for a turf toe, which we'll get to that one another time. So in those two tape jobs, actually, which I will discuss that, they're exactly the same, but it's just that if we're doing the bunion, it's on this side. If we're doing the turf toe, it's on this side. So again, bunion, tape's going to be on the fan's going to be on the medial aspect of the foot. And then if it's going to be turf toe, it's going to be on the plantar surface of the foot. So let's do the bunion first. And this is what I would do is I go ahead and lay down my fan. And I personally like to then attach this part to the toe. I do that first. And so again, I'm going to do the exact same thing with exact same strip of tape there. So now I'm going to secure this or close this down. All right. Because then I can use that tape as it's there to kind of manipulate. So I put the foot in kind of a neutral, or the first ray in a kind of a neutral position right here. And then what I'm doing is I'm actually going to pull the tape, and then so if the foot is like valgus that way, I'm going to pull the toe right there into kind of a neutral alignment position, and then I'm going to lay that tape down. And then I'll just go ahead and secure it. So you see how simple that is? I mean, it's not really that difficult of a tape job. And then you might secure it with another one and or possibly two closing strips. And that actually then becomes the bunion. And you know what? We'll go ahead and make another video quickly of then the turf toe. Okay, so that's again a bunion tape job. Could you also do that? And you could, if you wanted to use some moleskin, you could use that same principle where you're attaching the moleskin there and coming down the foot this way. And we can show that. Actually, what I'll do is just quickly, since we're on this video, we'll do that real quick just by showing you. And yes, you'd want to measure it out. I'm pretty sure I got enough tape here, and we'd still cut our, you know, cut our little wedges out. You know what? You'd secure it this way, right? Okay. Then you'd have to actually, after you've secured it. Now, do you need the anchors and everything? The answer is not necessarily. So spray the foot nice and good with your tough skin, and then go ahead and I'll set that there. Why don't we just do this? Let me just take everything off. Our athlete doesn't mind doing this. He's getting paid the big bucks. All right, little humor in our videos. So we would just attach this here, right over the foot that way, and then we're still going to use that kind of pull, but we want to secure this down. So I would take some athletic tape and secure that around there, right? And then what we're trying to do is we're going to pull it from that valgus position and go back into a more neutral position, and then lay that, moleskin down there like that, and there. All right, just kind of mold that in there, and then I would secure it with some strips here. So let's just do. Let's be colorful. So maybe we use like one or two through the arch this way. And then, there you go. You've done, and you can trim all that down if you want it to. And remember, I didn't spray my athlete, so some of the stuff isn't sticking real well because, my athlete, again, is getting paid the big bucks, and, his foot's sweaty and all that. He's all nervous because, Hollywood's calling. All right, so again, that's for the bunion, but using the moleskin. All right, cool. Thank you.